to the CWL Finals in Miami. We are so very close to crowning our next champion. Not going to be 100 Thieves because they were knocked out yesterday, and it's going to be Gen.G, FaZe, or E-United. One of those teams. E-United, of course, finally getting through the winner's bracket to end in a grand final and only need one more series. The first time of the 3 times now that they've been in a grand final for that to happen. I'm your host, Katie Bedford, joined by Nameless, Seti, and Pacman on the desk. Now, for this Gen.G and FaZe matchup, something I want to touch on first is a focus on FaZe. So they did just lose, and it was tight for a lot of those games, but they got crushed in that final hardpoint. So as professional players, in your histories, if something like that happened to you, what was it like to try and bounce back? Give me a story of when you went through that.
So when I was 18, when I first started competing, and I got picked up by Envy, we had an opportunity where we were gonna get eliminated at Champs, and it came down to a one and done. And I remember we got through that series, and the next day, we ended up losing our first match in that winner's bracket, going down immediately to the losers. At 18 years old, I'm just feeling a whole lot of pressure. It's just like, what are we gonna do, man? It's the first time I'm here, I wanna make a big impact. And then I have one of the greatest teammates I've ever had in my life, Joey Merc DeLuca. He looks at me, he goes, Jay, have some fun, man. That's all you gotta do. This is your dream, have some fun. And that's exactly what happened. We went from all the way from top 16 in losers to getting second. Even though we didn't get first, that was one hell of a thing, and it's always gonna stay in the back of my mind. It's just like, you're basically here living your dream, and you're having fun doing it. So don't go up there and stress yourself. Obviously, you know a loss can really get to you. But at the end of the day, this is your dream, and you're living it, so have fun.
Have fun. That's great.
Usually that's better early in the tournaments. Oftentimes when I'm late in the tournament, like winter semis, winter finals, and I lose and I go to loser's bracket, I just get double bopped out of the tournament. Because you drop down and you're playing a team that's red hot on fire, and you know they've made their mistakes previous, that's why they're in losers, but they fixed it. They went back and you know they won a match, so they have that confidence back. So if you look at FaZe Clan and you see how a team just had a terrible, you know, few maps against United, they have about 10 minutes to talk about it and go, yo, what was going wrong, right? Like, you got to go back and fix that super quick. Going up against another really powerful SOG duo on Gen.G and Envoy and Havoc, it's going to be very tough for FaZe to bounce back here. It's going to take a lot of tenacity. I'm not sure if they can do it.
Yeah, it's certainly, you can see it there. Their finals records thus far going to be difficult, especially when you're having slow starts from maybe the likes of Zero or Asim.
Another thing, like, going into this match is stylistically it's a tough matchup for FaZe once again. Both teams left in this tournament, you know, are like the counters to FaZe because they're good at search and destroy and they're consistent in the other modes. Well, Gen.G is a fantastic search and destroy team, and they're also good at hardpoint. So, you know, FaZe it's going to be a mountain to climb for them to win this tournament.
That is very, very true. But again, we've seen what FaZe can do. We know that they can be incredible. Yeah. So if they can rally, if they can recuperate from that loss, which was close. I mean, they were not rolled over.
And like a good thing from them, Scraps came out in the first map and had 7,000 damage in the first map. So he's still out there doing his thing, trying to get this team over that hump. If they get some more production out of Asim and more consistent production out of Zero, because before he was playing amazing. He also did not have that great of a series. They can bounce back. They do have the pieces. They just have to believe in it, and they can do it.
I think it's going to start with map 1 for me. If they're able, the way that they just got beat down on that map 4, if they can get that map 1 win, gain some confidence going into the rest of the series, just like, that last series is behind us, guys. Don't even worry about it. We're up 1-0, let's close this out.
I worry for
them. Get that number 1.
Is that they've played only Arsenal Search and Destroy in this entire tournament. And they won their first 2 Arsenals, and then they lost their 3rd one right there. So it's like, are they good at Search and Destroy, or are they just solid at Arsenal? And now there's enough data out there to know exactly what they're going to do. And Gen.G, they've proven that they can go in a series and just win both searches and take home that game 5 and win the series. So it's really tough.
My only worry for them is that map they just got destroyed on was their hardpoint pick. So now do you go back and pick it again? Do you just got 59 points? Do you go back and pick it again, or do you switch it back up, even if they veto maybe your best map?
I think you go wild here, I think you just completely switch it up.
Well, we will have to find out in just a minute. Again, Gen.G and FaZe Clan, can FaZe bounce back, or is Gen.G heading to the grand finals? We'll find out with Ben and Chance.
Thank you so much, Katie. Losers bracket final time here at playoffs. One of these 2 teams will progress through to face E-United in the grand final. And I think the desk hit a great point there, Chance, talking about one team who already has a win today, one team fresh off a loss.
And it's also a team, well, for one side that has like that grand finals experience already, right? Gen.G, just the last tournament, they've been in this situation before, or at least been close to here, so they gotta have the confidence, right? And if you want confidence in Gen.G, you look no further than their SMG duo. arguably be the best in the entire year. They have been lights out from start to finish. As soon as Envoy got on this roster, he just has been completely insane.
Yeah, he's been very, very good, and a big reason why Gen.G's placement's looking up, that's for sure. But here's a quick glance at our series layout. We're going to start with an Arsenal hardpoint, Hassi search, and a frequency control as the first three. But briefly, thoughts on the series as a whole?
I mean, just to kick off on Arsenal again, we just watched FaZe get completely blown out on this map, and it might be tough to hit that regain because you're going against a team like Gen.G who are incredibly strong as well.
Well, I will say, Zero definitely didn't have the best series in that last matchup. Look for him to try and turn things around, but for Gen.G, off to a good start. They'll start earning themselves a few points here. They get the control of the first hill. As FaZe try and slide through, it's going to be Envoy first to the defensive party, but Scraps gets a double. But whilst all that is going on, Gen.G still in the hill.
FaZe, though, are able to stabilize just a little bit. A couple kills coming through, but the gun side of things is going to be open. Scraps peers over, but he knows that Gen.G have already made the cross, so the gunfight's coming over towards the second hill. Well, way more important for Gen.G to win. And you see Major Maniac gets caught out instantly. It's only Nagathon in the hill who needs to stay alive, though Gen.G broke through from first. They're on the approach.
That was a really good job from FaZe as well, anchoring those spawns at the back. However, they still don't have full control of the hill, and it's Envoy again trying to be a nuisance. There's Nagathon looking for the trade, not going to get it. Zero with the double, but again, FaZe still spawning in.
And this is just good work from Gen.G early on. They get that pressure in the hill when they had to work on the rotation, but you see FaZe starting to pick up a couple kills. Scraps trying to get a little bit aggressive, but Envoy from over top is able to pick up 2 kills, but a very scrappy second hill, which Gen.G, if they got the small lead, very happy with it.
Oh yeah, at this point, knowing that FaZe rotated so early, you know that you're just trying to chip away as Envoy now 125 away from streaks. He picks up the kill, destroys the trophy, teammate there. And with 15 seconds left, he may want to just try and rotate over towards P3. As he hangs out, picking up a little bit of that scrap time. We'll keep our eye on number 7 on the rotation, but here is actual glance at what's going on the other side of the map. This is Mox. Ready and waiting. Gen.G locking down the spawns for the new hill.
And Gen.G right now, they are taking their time. They got a player in lobby, 2 working away around back, but they are just waiting for Envoy to get near so they can bait for him. And Nagathon's working on the pinch, but if Envoy can get the streaks, it's instant that he's going to call him in. But Scraps gets that first blood, and this is the play. Can he get the lightning? Scraps away just for a moment. The challenge comes back in. Envoy only able to get 1, but his teammates have fallen around him.
Oh, he's feeling himself. Wants to go for the second. There it is. Streaks earned. More players cutting mid, and he hasn't finished yet. 3 kills in quick succession. And Gen.G now starting to build themselves a lead. Still 28 seconds left on this hill. The first streak is going to be used. That's going to be the Hellstorm. Selim could be in trouble here as well. He will drop a double with the Hellstorm. And it's Gen.G again getting the hill time.
Biggest game of the tournament these 2 teams have played so far in. Envoy is 16-3, leading the lobby by a mile, getting more kills than basically everyone else, a handful just combined. Playing lights out for the moment. He'll have a lightning strike for next if he wants to break it that way. He has the war machine for next if he wants to use that instead.
And honestly, if you're FaZe here, you want him to use that streak as early as possible. And he will use it here. To what effect? Nothing, but his teammates do get control of the hill, so that's going to be worthwhile. 2 players from FaZe trying to push through window. Selim is one of them. He finds Major Maniac, but again, Gen.G, just so many bodies inside the hill, Chance. It's just so tough for FaZe to break it.
Yeah, the lightning strike might not have found a kill, but it forces everyone inside window. Gen.G get the spread across, and then it's 4 guns looking at 1 doorway, and it is easy pickings for the side of Gen.G. Still with that hill control, and you get the war machine early, you might as well pull it out, but you got to take care of the trophy system. It's kind of a bit of a problem.
I mean, there's early, and then there's just how early he was able to get it, right? FaZe will be very, very surprised at just how quick he actually has it. Trophy's out. Doesn't matter, he's going to push forward anyway. 126-44. Gen.G will get that scrap time. This is now almost a 100-point lead Gen.G has been able to earn. FaZe, you've got to wake up. Yeah, you simply have to. You had some close games against United. Yes, it's tough that you lost. You have to put that behind you now, and you have to look forward in this series.
I mean, honestly, right now, Gen.G is just making it look like FaZe had an incredibly interesting decision in the pick and bans, right?
Yeah.
He literally just saw this exact same thing from FaZe Clan, where they have just been good, fully out consistently. Lucky for them, Major Maniac was working on streaks. He gets shut down. FaZe finally have a little bit of control, but not a ton, and they don't have spawns.
But it's those small wins that you have to use to really spiral yourself back into this game. You shut down a player close to streaks. That's step 1. Step 2, try and challenge for a little bit of scrap time and focus on a rotation as well. The last hill of our first rotations. And again, the kills coming in left and right. It's been very, very chaotic, but as I mentioned, FaZe will get that scrap time, and it's going to make the scoreline look a little less daunting.
And they have a very good rotation as well. They got a couple bodies in the new hill. They still have fresh on the back, but Gen.G, they're going to have to fight through just to take these FaZe players down. Envoy is able to connect with 2, but now it's all about that doorway. Asim and Zuma are here.
Bear in mind, you've already invested the grab slam as well. Gen.G did that in the last hardpoint, so you're approaching that part of the game now where FaZe are going to catch up in terms of the specialist race. Scraps has earned his War Machine. Asim one away from a grab slam, and you may want to consider investing some here. There's the grab slam. Mox goes down. FaZe in control of the hill, but for how long? Asim's going to need a little bit of help. He's not going to be able to shut down Havoc. And Stellium has him so weak. Zuma finally comes to help from top window. FaZe should be able to get a little bit of control if they can find this last kill on Nagafet.
And you can see just how hard Gen.G are fighting. FaZe had the early rotation, and they are fighting incredibly hard, but Gen.G, just that scrappy team, but FaZe in a great spot. They were down by a ton, but they're at least getting those back spawns for the next hill, but Major Maniac used an attack 5 for streaks, potentially now just 110 off.
Scraps has to be careful. The EKA comes through, 10 points. Major Maniac, you could hop in the new hill, try and get points that way, but it's of course a little risky knowing that you don't have full control of the spawns. FaZe are deep back there, but this a key moment in this game. If Major Maniac gets streaks, this could be...
And you saw Mox. Mox is using the vision pulse. You can see through walls, and that means that Major Maniac knows exactly what he needs to do. Makes it so much easier to bait. Your teammates, the side comes out, the lightning secured, and Scraps pulls out the War Machine, but it might be too late. You might have to deal with the lightning, and Scraps eventually gets traded as well. Perfect vision, perfect earning of the streaks, and a perfect break from Gen.G.
I love that from Gen.G. Invest heavily just to secure the streaks, and oh, you're gonna get the hill time as well. FaZe clawed their way back into this one. But now, Major Maniac still with a lightning strike. He can invest that on the rotation here, meaning he can spend a little longer fighting for that scrap time, and I think FaZe kind of recognized that with 20 seconds left. Only one player rotating. That's gonna be number 3 on your minimap, Asim. While everyone else falls at the hands of Envoy. That's a double for him. Zero's gonna fall as well. This is just so well played from Gen.G in map 1.
And this is getting ready to be do or die for FaZe. They're gonna need a very strong hold here, but you know, obviously Gen.G has a couple things to work at their disposal, right? They still have the lightning, they got a Tempest if they need it in the hands of Nagafen just to break through, but so far it's just the guns that are getting it done. But with Havoc sitting inside lobby, the play call is gonna be use the lightning, get him out of the hill.
You need it. One of those explosive plays out of FaZe now to try and get yourself some streaks, try and get yourself anything. Lightning is going to be used. It doesn't find much, but that's because everyone that funneled inside died anyway. And Havoc's now 85 off streaks. Gen.G, they're starting to run away with map 1.
Yeah, the lightning strike just feeds those kills to Havoc. 85 off streaks, but doesn't make a difference. 30 seconds in, Gen.G will secure game number 1. A bunch of players for FaZe stacking up inside a lobby, but that means you got to funnel through the tiny little doorway, and you go straight into Havoc. He's able to find 2, fully streaked out, and he's got the grab.
And that's just so disciplined there from Havoc, because he recognizes we have a big lead. I don't need to put myself in danger. Let me wait for FaZe to challenge the scrap time. He knows, he's smart enough to know they will. And now you have even more utility of your Gen.G to close this game out. 4 streaks. FaZe, rotate if you want. It isn't really going to matter because you will be killed by some streaks.
And in the downtime, Mox is able to, it's just too many. It's too much, and yes, selling with the Tempest, maybe he can make a big play, but it is going to take a massive string of just perfect situations for FaZe to have any hope. Frankly, it's just about making sure you keep the guns warm for map number 2.
G, 10 more points. All they'll need is Stellium. I don't know how many more shots you want, but you got to start hitting something. That a sign really of how his game has gone. At 12 and 19, he finishes. FaZe blown out the water in map number 1.
Ben, would you like the good news or the bad news?
Let's start with the bad news.
The bad news is FaZe, well, they just got completely bullied out on Arsenal against United, and what do they pick for map number 1? They just go straight back into the exact same map, and it did not look like they improved in exact same situation.
Okay, so what's the good news?
The good news is every single other map FaZe has played has been incredibly close, and, well, they get the tough one out of the way first thing.
Gen.G will have the advantage here in the losers final. It really was a map which started, Gen.G had control of. They never really relinquished too much of it. They close it out in style, so many streaks, and this was an example of that disciplined play from Havoc, just waiting, knows he doesn't even need to be inside the hill. FaZe will funnel towards him, he'll get the extra streaks, and those streaks help put the game to bed.
And honestly, the streak usage was perfect from start to finish, right? Envoy right off the rip after the second hill. He earned streaks. They turned that into making big plays. Major Maniac needs to earn streaks. It's a perfect vision pulse to let him bait his teammates so he can earn those. You turn that into clearing out the hill. That way Havoc can go and get streaks, who uses those on the next hill to go and win the game. A perfect system, a perfect set of plays from Gen.G, and they just made it look easy.
Obviously, we talked a lot about the fact today we will have a brand new champion for the year. And just overall, in terms of players who have won championships in this series, there is only 2 of them. Zero and, of course, Zoomer. And this is now where you look at those 2 players to calm down the rest of the squad, because FaZe are clearly going through it a little bit. It was a tough loss to take, sure, but now you play 2 of the same map back-to-back in 2 different series, and you've had the exact same outcome. You've been blown out. You need those veterans, those championship winners, to have a Joey D moment, right? Look at the young guys and basically say, guys, relax. Let's just have some fun. Let's play our game. Let's focus up, and let's try and get it to a grand final.
And honestly, ice has not been a problem for FaZe either, right? Like, yes, they lose a couple, like around 11, you make that argument, but there's 1v1s they're having in the Seaside against United that they're coming out on top of. They have played incredibly well, incredibly tight against United, other than the Arsenal. And if you get that out of the way, so if I'm one of those 2 veterans on the team, I'm saying, look, we're going into a Hacienda Search and Destroy, which they haven't seen us play all weekend. FaZe has only played Arsenal for all 3 maps that they've had of Search and Destroy. So you say, look, we've been making our game plan over the past couple weeks of what we do on Hacienda. Gen.G is not going to be prepared for any of it. Meanwhile, we've actually seen them play. That's going to be our advantage.
Of course, you hope FaZe has got something kind of cooked up for the Hacienda Search, and they're not just a one-trick pony. You would assume so.
Oh, they do. RJ definitely has that on lock. They have some sort of game plan. One of the better coaches in the league. It certainly seems like this team gets organized and just like on the snap of a finger, just very quickly, they rocket themselves to a top-tier team.
In terms of Gen.G's side for the Hacienda Search, they're 0-1. Really not too much data to be had. Haven't had too many matches to play, of course, but they have a 1-0 lead here in this losers bracket final. And really, for me, map number 2 is everything for FaZe. They need to win this map just to get a little bit of the ball rolling, a little bit of momentum. Gen.G take this, more than likely chances. I think we have a 3-0 on our hands.
And of course, if FaZe win the Hacienda Search and Destroy, I mean, they're undefeated in control this week, right? And an undefeated record at any tournament is great, but especially this one. You are only playing the best teams in the world. It is always tough competition. You have an undefeated record in any game mode. It's completely insane.
Yeah, you're feeling very, very good when it comes down to it. But we load up now towards map 2 of our losers bracket final here in Miami. Hacienda Search and Destroy. Obviously, Gen.G only played it once, lost it. FaZe haven't played it once. But as I mentioned, a massive map for FaZe to win. Because trying to reverse sweep Gen.G, it's just not going to be easy. I don't even think it's going to be possible.
You have everyone meeting up on the B side. I mean, Gen.G basically make the perfect counter strat just straight away from round 1. So the hard count is here. Havoc, though, well, he gets double team. Meanwhile, his Saw duo, even with the Maddox, is making big plays. Envoy finds 2. Mox, though, needs a little bit of help, and Envoy is there instantly.
And that's stuff that you really didn't want FaZe to take those fights. Zero set up a very big flank, and in actual fact, from a 1v3 to a 1v1, Major Maniac, Zero, this could be a massive momentum boost, not only for Zero individually, but FaZe clan as well. 40 seconds on the clock. Of course, FaZe are on the attack. You can see, unfortunately for Zero, he's going to have to get bombed, but timing goes his way. Major Maniac spots him. Zero hasn't opted to heal. Now he will. It's ring around the Lambo. Zero, a 1v3 clutch in round 1.
And Envoy goes so huge at the start of the round and then just slides into the pre-aim of Zero for that second kill. Way too over-aggressive towards the end. And I will say, Major Maniac, he was playing the situation well. He knew he had bombed down. He was waiting for Zero to cross back. And then he got a little taste of COD timing at its finest. And Zero just making, I mean, talk about them needing a little bit of momentum, needing one of those 2 veteran players to make something happen. Well, there it is.
And smiles on the FaZe side of things. You just watched one of your vets clutch up a 1v3 in round 1. But use that to propel yourselves forward. Gen.G are going to be on the attack now. Looks like it could be a whole way to B push. They've stacked heavily. on the open side. While Havoc is pushed over towards Secret, and he could maybe find a first blood here if he's patient.
Well, Havoc's thinking about it, but he's waiting for FaZe to maybe go on the full flank. Meanwhile, this bomb is getting planted. Does not look like Zuma has this information, but you got Mox trying to protect his teammate. Nagafin's down, Nagafin's out, bomb planted, 5v5.
Nagafin looking for anything at all with the wallbang, but FaZe, they may just funnel straight through, and Nagafin doesn't necessarily have the right weapon for the job. He turns around, there's 4 FaZe players there, but meanwhile a big pinch has come through. Zero hopped on the bomb, and that leaves Scraps in a 1v4. There will not be another miracle clutch.
An interesting decision from FaZe to just kind of go for it, swarm over on the site. Zero hopped on it straight away, and Gen.G, well, maybe if they lost an extra gunfight or two, that Zero defusing the bomb would have been a good call. You get to take a look at Major Maniac, just the speed, the aggression. Zuma's one shot flies out for the challenge. His teammates are there. Zero hesitation from the side of Gen.G, and of course Havoc. We saw the play getting set up. His job was to watch the flank. Yep. He ends up getting the top office, starts shooting players in the back, and just wins you the round.
Yeah, it basically forces FaZe to fly forward. They had to do something. It may not necessarily been what they wanted to do in the situation. At round 3, FaZe back on the attack, and well, it's going to be another B push here, Chance.
Except this time, Gen.G nowhere to be found. Number 8 is thinking maybe he could jump top hallway, but he's going to be potentially going on a flank with Havoc. Very aggressive, and the AMP is going to tell you players are near bomb. Envoy might be able to see a foot. The player's going to get out, and the stun is going to hit too. FaZe, though, can't get in the doorway.
And also, can't plant the bomb. Bear that in mind. Planter had to hop off, and, well, Zero has managed to push all the way around the outside of the site. We also have a big pinch coming in from Celium, number 3. Deep in water, but that's the first fight. A team wins it. Havoc goes down, first blood FaZe.
And they know. I don't know how they know, but Zero, you see all those Gen.G arrows, they were turning to look for him. So they've identified him, and they take him down, but Zero can take one with them.
Yeah, that's the important part. At least trades out his own life. Keeps the one-man advantage in favor of FaZe. Bomb being planted. But again, it's that number 3. It's Celium for me, who made the play. Goes so far deep out into the water on B. Sets up for a nice little flank, and now it's a 4 versus 2. Mox and Major Maniac, and to be fair, Major Maniac is 5-1. Definitely one of the guys you want alive in this situation. He's sniffed out Celium. He just wisely backs away, but Mox has hit a flank onto Celium. 2v3, 25 seconds on the clock. Time is ticking.
FaZe, though, they just need to play their lives. You see the triangle they set up on the map, and it's just so tough for Gen.G to comb through. But of course, Major Maniac, he's just thinking 225 off streaks. He just wants to find a kill or two if he can get it. But you also don't want to do anything too risky, so looks like Gen.G content to let the time tick down.
And this early in the game, you don't mind that whatsoever. He's tried to play his life. He's tried to play for a couple of kills, some exits. Not going to find anything, but he preserves the streak. He stays alive.
And then interesting stuff on Hacienda as well, right? It's just the man that plays so distant away from his team, goes and plays on an island and gets behind enemy lines. The round before this, we saw it was Havoc that did it. Full flank, trusts his teammates. He gets top office. This time it was Celium. Goes all the way through the water, all the way to the back of the map. The lone man so far away from his teammates, but has the perfect angle, and Gen.G not even ready for it.
Back and forth, search and destroy action here in map 2, but it is Major Maniac. We should focus our attention on the side of Gen.G. 225 away from streaks. No, not opted to take the bomb this round, but first blood comes in. Major Maniac does find Celium. That's going to put it even closer. Zuma drops as well. A 4v2. Gen.G should be able to tie it up here.
Well, would be nice if you had the bomb just to, you know, maybe get some streaks. But either way, you're in a 4v2. The round win is more important. Zero on the flank eventually gets red. Nagafen chops him down, and Asim probably just going to opt to get off the map as quickly as possible. And a solid round coming in from Gen.G.
Go up to get off the map if you can.
As slowly as possible.
There we go. Sometimes the jump can be hard, Chance. It can be tough.
It's a tricky part of the map, you know? The stone wall rather than the fence, and you're thinking, oh, God, what do we do?
Well, Gen.G tied up. 2-2. Again, Major Maniac, importantly enough, still on that streak. Did not secure them this round, but he has to be the priority target here for FaZe. You have to find him, and you have to shut him down.
And in case there's confusion on maybe why he's not taking the bomb, I'm assuming it's tough to get the bomb down on Hacienda. On both sites, there's a bunch of strats where players just wallbang with the ICR. It's a little bit tough to manage, but at the same time, you don't necessarily have to go for the bomb plant straight away, and obviously their strat was efficient with or without the bomb.
I'm just curious to see how he plays it defensively, right? 125, all he's going to need. Of course, a defuse would be lovely. And Gen.G have given up the A site. There's going to be no late flanks coming in from FaZe. However, the bomb will be planted. A 5v5. Gen.G looking for the retake, and also, again, looking to feed Major Maniac the streaks. He's got a little bit of info. One player out of fences. Agafen, though, trying to set up a pinch of his own. One boy with the first blood, and it just comes down to, can you land some bullets if you're Major Maniac and assist literally anything? But the flag comes through from Zero. He finds 2. He knows there was one more. He surged forward, 3 versus 2. Zero making the big plays for FaZe when he's needed the most, but Scraps drops. It's still very much an open round, 2v2. Trophy right in front of Zero. Zuma, of course, still alive with him. Nagafen shuts down Zuma, 7 seconds.
It doesn't make a difference. No one hopped the bomb. You're just playing for the kill. No time on the clock. Zero again. Opened up the game with a 1 versus 3 to suck any momentum from Gen.G that they built in the Arsenal hardpoint, and now he goes on the flank, picks up 2 massive kills. And keep in mind, Gen.G was setting up a flank themselves. Yep. Nagafen was over by well, but he played a little bit slower, waiting for his teammates to make the play before he pushed, and Zero said, nope, I'm that guy, I'm gonna be the playmaker.
And it wasn't even just he found 2 kills in the round. The priority target, the player he needed to shut down Major Maniac, no streaks earned. However, after that last round, Nagafen played very, very well. He got a couple of kills to his name. He himself now 250 away from streaks, so you survived the first time, can you do it again?
And we'll see if they give Nagafen the bomb this time. I'm assuming they will. Almost certainly he'll pick it up. Nagafen does grab this, and well, killing a bomb plant, EKIA, he'll take the points wherever he can get them. FaZe has sent 2 players leaning towards A, maybe one in the top hallway, but Asim actually by himself. But he is able to get connector, but he just gets fed straight into Envoy.
That actually might be an EKIA as well for Nagafen. Nope, not given 250, still needed, but bomb will start to go down. A 5v4 for Gen.G as they look to tie things up. Nagafen just needs 150 more points. And Zero has hit a flank. Selim's also managed to shut down Mox elsewhere, so 4v4. Envoy drops, Zoomer assists on the flank, of course he does. 4v3, 30 seconds on the clock. Havoc trying to be slow and passive. Nagafen falls, no streaks for Gen.G. Now it's a 3v2. It's all about the round and how FaZe are gonna play it. Major Maniac has the support of his teammate. It looks like they're gonna try and go through connector here.
They got hop off the bomb as well. Major Maniac, last man standing. He's got to win another gunfight. Tries to get out, staying alive in FaZe. You just have to watch Tholdori. It's a 1v1. Zuma's on the bomb. Major Maniac, you got to go for it. And Celium shuts him down.
That is a big win for Celium. It's those moments where Zuma can essentially do nothing. He's relying on his teammate to win that 1v1 fight. He loses it. Without a doubt, this is a 3-3 game. FaZe now with a 2-round cushion here in map 2.
And the flank has been a massive problem for Gen.G. Obviously, Zuma's going on the half flank. I think it was Zero again. That was all the way around back, and it just baits the players out. Because that's around. Gen.G get the first blood bomb down. You got Nagafen just an inch away from the streaks. Everything is looking perfect. You get the exact scenario that you want in FaZe again. The bigger plays coming through.
Those clutch plays. Absolutely right. 4-2, advantage FaZe. They go back onto the attack. Realistically, there's no massive performances in terms of stats, but it's the plays Zero has been able to make. Don't forget a 1v3 to start map 2 off. How that just brought them back into this series. Massive plays. But first blood in this round from Havoc. Will fall. Gen.G with the advantage.
And Asim is in a very difficult spot. I was going to say, Gen.G had him surrounded. They had no one in the top hallways that was able to watch the connector side of things. And, well, you leave a hole on the map. Gen.G did expose it. 5v3, though. FaZe already has a handful of clutches. This round is nowhere near over.
I mean, you clutch this, it's a dagger. It really is at that point. FaZe 100% should win the map. Selim does find 1. Makes it a 3v4.
And Zero's, I was assuming, was going to get a kill. Luckily for Envoy, he's playing fast enough that Zero a little bit too late.
Selim, note that silence. I'm not sure if he was spotted or heard. 25 seconds. FaZe have got to make a decision here as to how to put the bomb down. Because they are still on the attacking side. Scraps tries to put it down. Support of Selim is there. However, unfortunately for Scraps, he's going to be pushed. He will fall. It all comes down to 1. It was Zero last man up. He is dealt with. Gen.G, the reduce the deficit to 1 round.
It looks like Gen.G had a little bit of timing go their way when Zero's back there. Nagafin was able to get a kill just before he gets shot in the back.
Also, I'm surprised Celium, when he slid across over towards kind of back statue, didn't actually spot the player who was on stairs. Yeah. Obviously, it helps for us. We have a nice, colorful outline. But if Celium spots him, maybe takes that fight, round could have gone drastically different. 4-3. Gen.G back on the attack. They've had some good early rounds where they've been able to get the bomb down, just not able to convert them into actual round wins.
And this time it looks like Envoy makes the adjustment to watch the flank. Zero's been a huge problem, so the gunfight on that side of the map may come down quicker, or the timing might be there. Zero again on the flanks, finds a hole in Envoy. Well, he's actually caught in between 2 players. Meanwhile, on the other side, that bomb nearly gonna get planted. It does go down by Nagafin.
Now, Envoy is so worried about the Zero flank. I mean, rightfully so. It's had a huge impact, but now if you're Zero, you've got to rotate all the way across the map. Teammates not really in a position to push because they're massively outnumbered. It's now a 3v4. Envoy still hanging around over towards well side. Mox with the first pick on Celium, and now if you're Gen.G, you can even flood forward. You can try and take control of FaZe's side. Player and connector, he will surely fall. The trade is there. It's a 2v3. Gen.G, they played this perfectly, and they're playing around the flank of FaZe, adjusting, making the small tweaks and changes to the round. And it's just become a little too easy there for Gen.G. I'll tie it up, 4-4.
And FaZe knows as well, Zero may be looking for a final kill if he can find it. Anything helps, and well, he at least gets the kill on Mox, which is a small victory in the round lost, but the biggest thing to me is just finally adjusting on the flank. Yeah, Envoy goes to watch the full flank, and honestly, I thought he was gonna die. Zero was behind him, could have jumped up, shot him in the back, but somehow Envoy's able to stay alive, and then there's no fast flank you have to worry about. Yep. Zero ends up just going through connector, and then when you have the setup you want, and no one gets exposed on the flank, it makes it that much easier just to hold stable.
Also, you have to think about the time it takes to even rotate towards the action. At that point, as soon as one of your teammates falls, they're at a massive disadvantage. Really good, smart play from Gen.G. They tie it up 4-4. FaZe back on the attack. The push. Oh, it's coming very, very quickly towards B. Havoc realizes it, forced to back away.
Worse for FaZe, maybe expecting a gunfight soon up in the top hallway. Envoy, is the trade gonna get there? Yes, Zuma shuts him down, but Major Maniac is there for the help. Advantage Gen.G.
And you can see Major Maniac instantly knew that Zero was gonna be there. He's expecting that flank to come through. And well, to just back away and get towards his teammates. Keep the man advantage, force FaZe to make the play. It's a 4 versus 3 in favor of Gen.G. Again, FaZe need to plant the bomb. Shrapps has it in hand. The B site has become a little open. Gen.G just trying to scout for information, and Mox didn't see Shrapps up top, but Shrapps saw him.
He threw the trophy down. He saw something. He's sensing it now, and if he didn't see it before, Celium definitely gave the spot away to go for some pre-fire. Keep in mind, 20 seconds left, but Celium catches him for the 3v3. Nagafin, though, on the flank. Should have at least one kill. He gets scrapped, but the trade is there. 14 seconds.
Time. It's going to come down to time as Havoc shuts down Celium. It's a 1v2. If you're Zero, you got to play fast and furious. He should be able to make it a 1v1, but I don't think it's going to matter too much with 5 seconds left. Major Maniac has just dipped. He is at the other side of the map. Gen.G 5-4 up here in game 2.
And FaZe is stressing me out. Yes, you're in a man disadvantage. It's a 3v4. Gen.G did a nice job with the aggression early to get the first blood and trade it out on the top hallways. But they had a couple rounds, even against the United on Arsenal, where they just don't give themselves time to work with. They play so passive off the rip that by the time they start making moves, there's 25, maybe 30 seconds on the clock, and you hear that beeping sound in the back, and you just feel like you need to go so much faster. But I mean, when Gen.G, if they just have a guy running away because he's guaranteed the round win, there's just not enough pressure on the opponent.
It feels like FaZe's biggest opponent has been the clock so far here in game 2, consistently trying to make plays, running out of time. But Gen.G now, map point this to go 2-0 up in the losers bracket final. One more map, and they would be in the grand final.
And Zero on the flank again. He's already bottom water. Gen.G is not ready for it. There's the free kill, and Envoy, do you even want to plant the bomb? He's going to stick it. But Zero, I mean, a huge problem. You got to go hunt the man down.
And the problem is, how many Gen.G players are going to turn around? And is that going to open up enough of the map that FaZe can try and find a hole? Zero has the information he needs. Hacienda shut down Havoc. Stun comes out, but they isolate Zero. But it's a flank of a flank, essentially. And also note, Celium is trying to make a play over towards the rock side. It's a 2v3. Scraps has to go big, finds the first. Can he find the second? Yes, he can! 2v1. Celium was on the bomb. He trusted Scraps to make the play, and Scraps delivers. We're going to round 11.
And I'll say, another round where you're just giving yourself no hope to win. The gunfights from Scraps are exciting, don't get me wrong, but they had no time. Celium's on the bomb. It doesn't matter if Scraps doesn't shoot back. I doubt those players were able to get there, and even then, it would be super close. You sent everyone back to go deal with Zero, and you didn't do it quick enough. Maybe leave one guy in water to try to make a play, maybe figure something out, but Gen.G, again, just it didn't seem like they put themselves in a good spot. Nagafen, of course, though, earned the ice pick specialist, which will be annoying for FaZe to deal with.
Just a little bit.
But effectively just an annoyance.
Round 11. Havoc gets the information, tries to peek, but he falls. First blood for Asim. FaZe, the 5v4 on the attack. Can they use their numbers to try and get the bomb down? Well, the minimap kind of gives you your answer. They say, no, we don't fancy it today. Let's try and rotate as quick as we possibly can to B.
Nagafen just looking for information, see if he can hit something through the wall. And you can already see Zero, by the way. He's thinking about that potential full flank again. And of course, well, for Gen.G, they have to look for it. You have to stop the bomb plant. You got the man disadvantage, and that's going to get planted for free. And Zero eventually might be able to make the play. Envoy can't find a kill. FaZe, they're looking good for map 2.
Just keep your eyes on number 2 on the minimap. Mox has read this play so well, but the problem is he's running out of time. He has to assist his teammates who are at a numerical disadvantage overall. And here it is, the play coming through. It was set up so early in the round, and Zero loses the fight. Mox turns and burns. Advantage Gen.G, 4v2, 2v2. Celium and Asim both pick up wins. Major Maniac mode. He shuts down Asim. Celium, you were picked up for moments like this. The search and destroy guru, the 1 versus 2, has to go big. Major Maniac, has he done enough? He has! Nagafen hops the bomb. Gen.G clutch up in round 11. 2-0 up, now in your losers bracket final.
And on the day, that makes 2 round 11 losses for FaZe. Zero did everything right the entire game, a 1v3, massive flanks, and in the end, it came down to a shot punch from Mox to take the man down.
It was almost the perfect round for FaZe. Instead, they find themselves down 2-0 in this losers bracket final. For Gen.G, one more map. One more map is all you need, and you'll advance through to the grand finals here at playoffs, where there is such a large sum of money on the line. United, of course, ready and waiting in the wings. They'll be trying to watch this one closely, figure out who they need to play, and if they need to adapt to any strats. But for FaZe, it's a kick in the teeth. It really is. They obviously lose map number 1, same fashion they lost it in the winners final. Map 2, they take it to a round 11. You start to believe that maybe it's a resurgence. Instead now, they need a reverse sweep to stay alive here in Miami.
What's up, guys? Study here with your play breakdown presented by TCL. All right, guys, we're going to have Evil Geniuses versus UYU. Currently, Evil Geniuses are up 2-0 in this series on Control on Arsenal. If they win this map, they send UYU packing. So you're going to see the number 2 player, which is going to be Apathy. He's going to push up the entire gun side and realize that all his teammates are just going to get spawn killed basically in middle. Once he realizes that none of his teammates have got to kill, Apathy is going to be trying to play for spawn kills. Realizing that UYU is so far pushed up their base, he has no people to actually kill. So the only play he's going to be able to make is pushing that back steps to hop on this site. As soon as he does this, he hops the site, forces the UYU players to turn around. At the same time, the opposite EG players are going to play for this pinch. Accuracy is going to call out 2 going to the back. Exotic's going to play for the back as well. 1 player coming off spawn is going to be J-Cap's going to take down Saints. At the same time, they have full control of this B site, sending all the UYU players off spawn. What a beautiful play out of Apathy to control this site and end up closing out the map. And that has been your play breakdown presented by TCL, America's fastest growing TV brand.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Championship Sunday here at CWL Miami. Playoff time, baby. It hasn't disappointed at all. The games have been fantastic. The fans here have been great as well. We have a couple more matches. But before we get to our grand final, of course, we need to find out who is going to join E United. Will it be Gen.G, who are 1 map away, or will it be FaZe, who now need a reverse sweep?
And at this point in the tournament, in my mind, one of the conversation we had coming into it, it's the SOG change, right?
Yep.
SOG goes to hit scans. Who's it going to benefit more? The teams that already have great SOG duos, or the teams where the SOGs are weaker? Does it pump them up a notch and help everyone else out?
Think
and
you got your
look
answer.
at the teams we have left. It is SOG maniacs everywhere. This might be a tournament that answers the question, like, who is the best SOG duo, right? I know a lot of people are saying Gen.G, a lot of people are saying United, a lot of people are saying Reciprocity. There are a lot of great options, but at the moment, it's Gen.G that are 2-0 up against FaZe.
Well, from a not very close map 1 to a round 11 search and destroy, we now head over to frequency control, a game mode FaZe has not lost here at playoffs. Small problem. They haven't played frequency yet.
At least not at the tournament. 2-0 on Gridlock, 1-0 on Seaside, and yes, some of these have been incredibly close games. The Seaside came down to effective 1 versus 1, right? Where I think it was Hacienda that came out on top. So FaZe, this is a very difficult spot, but a massive saving grace at the very least that it's control from day 1 with this roster. They have been a phenomenal control team. They need to bounce back here.
Round number 1. FaZe on the attack. I'm going to go for mid to B push. It's Envoy that will find Zuma on the first pick, and they're trying to spawn trap him, and no, Zuma's going to have absolutely none of that. Nice try, Nagafen. Zuma will escape. And FaZe with plenty of resources over towards B.
Honestly, that kill from Zuma is just massive. It saves you from getting spawn killed repeatedly, allows you to speed up, and it means you know exactly where to look. Envoy takes 1 to the grave with them, but Scraps picked up 2 huge headshots, 2 ticks already through on this B point. Gen.G, though, you see the storm coming right back. Nagafen loses 1 tough gunfight. Well, next life, he wins 2 big ones.
And bear in mind, Scraps has been forced almost to back off here simply because of how close to streaks he is. 150. May think about putting some pressure over towards A. If he can get the reinforcements, if he can get the teammates, he's going to get the streaks just based off the points alone. The EKAA enough to put him 50 away. Now the Lightning has been earned, 100 more for the Hellstorm.
Scraps again, first day. First map that he had at the very least. 7K damage in the hardpoint. His gun has been hot. He's getting streaks here. He wants to go pick up a new weapon, but he gets the Hellstorm that way because the control capture, he got X% of it before they got the capture through. So secures the streaks and a couple more kills while it's going on. 6-0, and now Celium is spawn killing Gen.G.
I was so worried that Scraps was going to take a fight he didn't want and then fall 1 away. Either way, he gets both streaks. That's all that matters. 4 life advantage for FaZe. 2 ticks in, a minute 51 to get 1 tick. You have a lot of resources. Scraps is also 3/4 of the way through to that war machine. And this has been an unbelievable start to game 3 from him. 6-0, he's been flawless so far. FaZe now applying the pressure over towards B. It's going to be contested, but Scraps again, he's just unkillable.
This is FaZe. This is nothing. They're going to win this round. It is too good. They're not even going to have to use the streak. Zero is keeping them at bay. He is holding 3 players back, and he was spawn killing 20 seconds before that even happened. They had the cuts. They had Scraps going off from start to finish. That was FaZe perfection.
It really was. Here's a quick glance at the best play, it was 0 on the spawn traps. There's 1, there's 2, fancy 1 more. Well, quick glance to your left, there's Havoc that drops as well. Eventually, Mox straight off spawn as well. That's just beautiful spawn trapping there from 0.
And that's one of the most efficient rounds you're ever really going to see on frequency, right? Yeah. From the opening break. Yes, I think Zuma was the first man to fall, but they get the swarm over towards B. They get strapped some score streaks, who in a round is now a kill off of a War Machine.
It's pretty good. Pretty good. And you also have another couple of players playing towards some streaks as well. Pressure will be felt. Asim, is he going to be able to back away? Well, unfortunately for him, he's going to be caught. Now, this is where Scraps has to swing this Hellstorm so wide. Selim's found himself a double teammate is right in front of him. Make sure he doesn't team kill. Zuma now pushes through the remainder of that Hellstorm. The life count even. But to Gen.G's credit, they have done very, very well to cap A.
Well, they dealt with the first Hellstorm. Zero's thinking about earning a second to try to make up for it.
Scraps. 150 away from streaks, 050 away. I mean, this is what's going to happen when you just don't die. He's 8-0. He's found the high priority targets. That's a fight he needed to win. Not going to be able to do so, but Zero could trade for streaks of his own.
Streaks would be nice to get. It is a nice and open hill. One lightning is very nice to have, but even more, it almost gets you a guarantee. But Gen.G pick up 3 big kills. No EKIA for Zero. Now he's got to worry about it, but the lightning strike is going to force Gen.G into cages. Doesn't find a kill, but now FaZe is back.
Yeah, the purpose there is to just give yourself a little bit of control. Now it's these fights, which you have to win. Gen.G, despite being down so heavily at the start of this round in terms of extra resources, have played it damn near flawlessly. They can't take quick enough. There's almost a ticket to B. The lightning will be earned from Zero, but you're forcing such heavy investment here from FaZe that I think he pings it. Is he going to use it? May have to here.
Well, he actually pings it, but yeah, the players don't exactly fall for the bait. Envoy, as soon as he sees being called in, makes the move, and now he is the War Machine potentially for the return. He already has the lightning. Now he's gonna get the Hellstorm as he picks up 2 with the cluster.
This is very bad for FaZe. They have invested absolutely everything, and Scraps isn't done yet. That's 4 down with the War Machine. 1 more to the right, but FaZe surge full with the life count now. Just down to 4. It feels as if that 4-piece could be massive. Envoy now, he's going to want to use the Hellstorm. Should be able to find 1. Zuma drops. Life count at 3.
And huge plays from Zuma just to make sure that Envoy at least has to kill himself with the Hellstorm. Major Maniac on the flank. Well, he's able to find 1. And as good as the plays Zuma's make, Gen.G still have that 4-life lead. Zero potentially getting overwhelmed.
Bear in mind, Zero still has a streak to use as well. If he was to fall here, he may use it off spawn. He's done well to stay alive as long as he has. Just dancing and darting between the Gen.G players pushing towards him. Has Major Maniac 1-shot, now pushing over towards Gen.G's side of pipes. FaZe again survived. The problem, they still have over a minute left here to try and defend 2 ticks at B.
Nagafen again cannot deal with Zuma. Massive gunfight, and he tries to flank, but still 3-life lead, and Envoy's got the War Machine out. He finds 2. I don't know where the flak jacket was, but it wasn't on Zero.
You have no spawns left. Zero, do you decide to invest the streak? Well, with Zuma falling, maybe not. Envoy still with streaks of his own. In fact, everyone is going to fall. And that is such a big round win from Gen.G. FaZe invest so much. All of their streaks. The War Machine came out as well. I feel like Gen.G just robbed them in clear daylight.
It's a pressure game. It's all about that map control, right? You saw the first round for FaZe, when they have all the pressure in the world. When they're spawn killing the opponent, they make it look easy. This time, every single streak they used was off the back foot. The Hellstorm got called in when there's already the entire team inside of you. Can't find anything despite the nice angle. The lightning strike called in just to force them into cages so you can make it back to the hill, and they had to do that multiple times. It was always the defensive streak they had to use, never on the attack.
Tied 1-1. FaZe back on towards the attack. It's a B push off the rip, and Envoy has streaks. Nagafen will finally get a spawn trap going. So it looks as if he's not wanting to hang around, wants to try and assist his teammates, but it's all going to be down to Scraps. He falls. Good start to the round here for Gen.G.
So clean, and Envoy again, 75 off, either repeating streaks or just to get the Hellstorm. Havoc slides in and, well, dies instantly. You got nades coming out. Tac 5, though, for the side of FaZe. See if they can make a play. A little bit of progress over towards A. They got 3 bodies in the hill, and Envoy's thinking about the streak. So one of your Sogs is not wanting to slide into the hill. It looks like they might have to chalk it up, and Asim shuts Envoy down.
So A capped. progression over towards B. 2 minutes. FaZe are down 4 lives. We'll see what effect the spawn kills could have, because you can see number 4, it's Zuma, who is just being so cautious around Gen.G's side. Cherry picks another kill. He's basically in a 1v2 consistently on that side of the map, but now FaZe looking to try and pinch in over towards the site. Nice play and decision-making coming from them. That's 3 dead. More importantly, that's zone control.
This might be it. I mean, you got Scraps as the cutoff man. Mox is shut down. Envoy calls in the lightning, and he's able to get 2 kills with the SOG. Envoy, the one-man army, has 24 kills to his name. Ben, he just needs help. Just help out Envoy, just a little bit.
I mean, that's how you felt about Scraps, really, after the first couple of rounds. Now, though, he started to slow down, 15 and 7. His stat line, you can't let Havoc do that. That's 2, and he might be hungry for number 3. He pushes away. FaZe know he's there. Again, the life advantage at 3 in favor of Gen.G. 1.5 minutes for 1 tick.
And they have no idea that Zuma's behind enemy lines.
Again, well, they do now.
But he's got the SOG, and he's able to find one, so now you gotta turn your attention. Zuma's making plays, and the nades from Scout shut him down. The beatdown doesn't come through. Mox, though, is able to get out with his life, but there's no time. You gotta take the gunfights, and you got bodies on the hill for FaZe. They're set up, they're here for the round. Mox, he gives it the old college try, but the guns are already there. But Gen.G, they're in!
Nagafen's there! Nagafen's there! Havoc's helping! Zuma, does he want to try and push it? It's essentially a 1v1 for the final tick. No, he's gonna play it passively. The streak's coming through from 0. What is he gonna find? He's looking for any opening at all. It seems though he finds 2 and he's inside the hill. FaZe cap up.
And that is one of the smartest hellstorms we've seen all year.
Forces him outside.
He hovers it. Gen.G has to leave the hill. You throw 2 bodies inside the point because you're already, what, like 75% of the way from getting that capture. That is an instant play call. I'm assuming it has to be 0 that makes that decision to say, guys, go. I will not drop it on you. And that is
trust me,
perfectly
on you. I'll hover it. I'll force them away because if Gen.G stay, you just kill them with the hellstorm. You cap that way. FaZe showing massive smarts back in the lead.
Keep in mind, that would have been a dagger of a round for FaZe as well. To lose like that, where you basically had clearance on the point in Gen.G somehow, some way. Have stop you at least the first time.
I don't know how they do it. They do it. And again, Envoy, great performance from him, 24 and 13. And I thought maybe Gravslam was considered there. Havoc has one of his own. Probably doesn't need to invest it here, but selling him will make him pay. 1 tick of progression. Over at B, Gen.G being very aggressive indeed. 0 will drop. You don't really have any streaks to deal with that push. Gen.G are applying a lot of pressure. You do have a grab slam though. He's gonna go for it. Cut out midair. That achieves nothing. Half the progression will be gone. And you lose B. Now the pressure's coming in at A. Havoc still with a grab slam of his own. Should he want to invest it, but I mean, if you can save that going into a round 5, you try and save it at all costs.
And this is as good as it gets, right? Envoy's gonna get the War Machine, Mox is gonna get the Vision Pulse, Havoc already has the Grab Slam, and Nagafen with the Tempest. Plus, Nagafen is gonna be close to Shrieks. You win that round in such a dominating fashion that your entire team is getting to those specialists in FaZe. How many points did every single player score that round? Like 200 at best. They are heftily losing the specialist battle now. And that's a huge example why I see him an inch before he hits the ground, killed in the nick of time.
I mean, you would need to have an incredible performance to get that back. A lot of that may actually depend on whether he's on the attack or the defensive side. FaZe, 1 control round away from being knocked out. Gen.G, of course, 1 control round away from joining United in the grand final. FaZe are on the attack, but Nagafen is 100 off streaks, Envoy 325 off streaks. You get all that extra utility. Mox is 150 off. I mean, who'd you watch, right? Who do you watch?
Havoc, so annoying, and the Vision Pulse called in. You might as well try to end them quickly. Mox is able to get the streaks off the Vision. Nagafen is able to get streaks off the Vision. You call it in for the spawn kills. Gen.G, they want this round, they want the 3-0, and they're burning everything to make it happen.
Careful, you don't burn things maybe a little too early. You still have 3 streaks left, so you can afford to call out the War Machine. Scraps still is going to be there. Scraps drops as well. You have everything at your disposal. FaZe They borderline need a miracle here as they push over towards B. They get a couple of bodies inside. The Tempest is out from Celian, but he's not been the best with it so far here on Championship Sunday. He drops early again. 7 life the advantage now for Gen.G, but more importantly, there's 30 seconds on the clock. FaZe need to hop inside a zone. They need to get there now, but there's just so many streaks. Mox has got his streaks now as well. The zone's going to be contested. Gen.G again deflect the pressure. Scraps is forced to rotate out towards B, but there's a streak coming through now from Nagafen. FaZe are in a world of pain.
This is it. You just keep calling in the streaks. The Hellstorm, the Lightning, the other Hellstorm, the other Lightning. You use the Specialist Havoc, slamming him on down. He's able to pick up 2. It is a 8-life lead. No progression in on either point. FaZe is getting shut down.
10 seconds. Is anyone in a position to even touch the hill? I don't think they're going to be able to get there. Gen.G do it. They clutch up massively in the losers bracket final. They book their ticket into the grand final here at playoffs.
And Gen.G, you think they might be dealing with fatigue? Not at all. Nope. They are getting these series out of the way as quick as possible. A fierce final round. And again, even in the hardpoint, as well as the control, perfect use of the specialist, perfect use of all the streaks, and it helps when you get 7 of them, but it is just clean gameplay coming from Gen.G.
FaZe will be kicking themselves. A few small mistakes cost them. On the side of Gen.G though, you're absolutely right. Clean play, great decision making, and overall the results will show you a map where you're thinking, all right, Gen.G's in trouble. They clutch up in the search. Same thing can be said in the control. FaZe will be disappointed to be knocked out, but a top 3 finish for them at playoffs, I mean, that's a lot better than I think many people had.
I mean, still spectacular, still the highest placing a handful of guys on the team have ever gotten. And it sucks to say, but at the same time, you can look at that series with the United, you know, a 250, 247, a couple round 11s. They are right on the dot. If they just put together, pump it up a small notch come champs time, they can make a massive run.
Could be a very dangerous team, but of course that now means there's just 1 series left. Grand Finals, United, Gen.G. That's everything from myself and Chenso. We'll send it down to the PlayStation Instant Reaction with Jess.
Thank you, Ben. The scoreboard says 3-0, but that S&D and Control were so close. How much of a battle was that series for you?
It was a very big battle. We knew FaZe was going to be a tough opponent coming in. I'd rank them better than 100 Thieves coming into this event. In our boot camp, they played us really well and actually destroyed us on a lot of maps, and it's good that we came out and fought them well.
Until now, FaZe had not lost a Control all event, so what was the key to the victory there for you?
I guess the key was just them leaving Frequency open. That's the map that we've had a lot of success on, and our sub, me and Colt, are really good on the map, so I don't know, they just messed up picking it.
Finally, you are headed to the Grand Finals. What are your final thoughts before you head into that series?
I'm ready to take on EU. We're about to take both these best of 5s.
All right, thank you so much. This has been your PlayStation Instant Reaction. Over to Katie at the desk. Thank you, Jess. Gen.G returning to a grand final, also returning to that losers bracket entry, so they will need those 2 best of 5s to try and take down United, who just kicked them down. They've beat them before. United has already beat Gen.G once, so can they do it one more time, all they need? Whereas, of course, Gen.G needs to do it twice. But taking down FaZe Clan. FaZe, congratulations to them on a 3rd place finish, the best finish that they have had thus far this season. But something that Envoy was saying there on the stage, Nameless, I want to ask you about is those map picks, saying that maybe FaZe messed up in those. Do you agree with that?
In terms of Arsenal, I think that FaZe has a pretty good team for that map. Obviously, they got destroyed on that last series versus United, and then, you know, that was the map that they picked versus United. And then going into this series, Gen.G was like, you know what, we're going to pick that map even though you like that map because you got destroyed. And it was just an easy win for them. And in the Frequency, I think FaZe has a solid roster for that map as well. Envoy just went crazy. Like, some of the players on that team weren't playing that well, but Envoy picked up the slack for them. And, you know, once they kicked it up a notch, they were able to just dominate them in that last round.
I am just so mind blown because we watched FaZe the first day and they won both of their search and destroys, and it was Arsenal. We watched them play 2 different S&D maps, and unfortunately they dropped in both. Their decision-making in S&D is still the same thing that it was during Pro League. It just came down to a lot of mid-game switches. You got a man advantage at the A bomb site with a 5v4. You get that first blood. then all 5 of you guys decide to wrap back and go to B bomb, and
All
that's
4,
how you get
the other
clutched
one
on.
decided
Yeah,
to flank.
Zero's playing flank, and then he got slid punched by Mox. Like, that was the biggest kill of that round. Like, if he got that kill, it was probably a different outcome. But those decision-making of just adjusting or just wrapping a bomb when you have a man advantage, in a 5v4 situation, once you get that bomb down, it's 40 seconds for you to just win a one-on-one gunfight. And the last person standing is gonna be the last person on your team if you have that advantage. Hopefully, when going into champs, FaZe are able to just make those decisions a lot better. I also felt like they don't play the clock well. They just wait so long to be able to put that bomb down, and it's really costing them in that search and
It's
destroy.
time management, right? So they go A and they're like, okay, let's get this first kill. They get first blood, it works out. And then they have a 5 versus 4 situation. You can go for that bomb plant because you have a numbers advantage, but you decide to wrap all the way around the map towards B, and you get rid of your numbers because you send a guy on a late flank. So when they go for that retake, it's a 4 versus 4. Zero's trying to go through that hallway, and you know, he loses a one-on-one gunfight to Box. There's no reason to be in a one-on-one gunfight when you have a 5 versus 4 with bomb down. They have to come to you. And you know, to me, that's FaZe's search and destroy in a nutshell. It's been like that for months. It's just time management and decision making in the middle of the round.
And what do you think went so wrong for them then here in this control? Because of course you can see so many streaks on Gen.G side that they were just kind of having a heyday with it. But FaZe, yes, 2-2 there, but not able to close it out.
It's just that round 4. The round 4 was too dominant by Gen.G, and like Chance said, so that led to them getting streaks and specialist advantage, and it just snowballed. Before that, the game was really close. It was really only Envoy that was keeping Gen.G in this game. So that's why I don't think the map pick was that bad. Envoy just went off. But once they got that early lead in that round 4, dominated that, went into round 5, and just pushed them in their spawn, it was over for FaZe.
There was also that second round where, on the side of FaZe, they had so many sets of streaks, and they also used the War Machine, but Gen.G was still able to somehow, some way, pull that round out. That's insane teamwork out of Gen.G, and just the composure shown by them was amazing on that round.
Yeah, Gen.G just able to sort of bleed out their utility. Like even the round where, you know, they were making that progress on that B point, and, you know, Nagafin gets in there to try to neutralize that last tick, and they're forced to use that Hellstorm to force him inside. Now, granted, that was a fantastic play to use that Hellstorm, but it gets rid of it for that next round. So it's just Gen.G's able to just fight when there's just no hope, and they're able to, you know, give themselves a little bit of a buff going into the end game.
So I can't stress enough how important these round 11s have been in this tournament even. So E United was down 1-0 to Gen.G earlier in this tournament when they won, and went to game 2, round 11. Had Gen.G won that, they probably would have gone on and win that series and be the winners. United won that. Now, we just saw FaZe lose back-to-back round 11s. One, obviously you're losing the map, but two, just emotionally, they're just taking a hit over and over again, going down 2-0. It's just so hard to come back from that one round. Those little things, that one slide punch out of Mox can change the entire course of the tournament.
Yeah, they can certainly add up until they emotionally overwhelm you, if you will. But let's look